The first card you have your past is the Eight of Cups. Okay, yeah, this is interesting because I'm seeing you're definitely on your way up. You're heading toward a goal that you wanted to get toward. And you've been wanting this for a long, long time, this goal. You're very passionate about this. I don't know if you realise that you're actually getting there, because I'm getting this sort of, it's like a really cloudy-headed feeling. It's like, oh, I'm so tired. I wish I could do more. I wish I'd have done more by this stage. I wish I had gotten further at this stage. And I think that's how you're feeling at this time. And yeah, I'm seeing writing as well. So I think maybe you've written down this goal somewhere. And I think you might have written it down a year ago or over a year ago. That's what I'm seeing. Yeah, I'm seeing over a year ago, a long time ago. Probably not 10 years, probably around a year or so. And I think you put that away somewhere. So if you've done that, if you've written down this goal in a notebook or on a piece of paper or something, go and find that. Go and find everything you've written down, because I think it's in some detail, or you've written a few different points down. And I think you'll find that you're further ahead or closer ahead than you thought you were. And you're definitely a lot further ahead than you were when you wrote this down. And I think you also had to let go of some old habits. You had to leave them behind. You knew you had to do that to kind of get on this road toward this goal. And I think there's someone around this that kind of used to kind of encourage you into a bad way. I'm not saying you did all these terrible bad things. I'm not saying you broke the law or anything terrible. But it's something like, you know, you're stuck in a kind of a rut with someone. You're stuck in this old kind of pattern. You knew it wasn't good for you. You knew you had to move on from that, and you had to let go of this person. You had to let go of an old life. And you've done that, and you're moving forwards now. You're not as far as you'd like to be, but I just want to let you know that you're very, very far ahead. You're doing really, really, really well. You're on your way. You absolutely are. There's a little bit of a feeling of, I'll show them. So maybe there are these people that you left behind that kind of doubt you. They might have said, oh, you'll never get ahead. You'll never change. You'll never get out of this. It might be where you used to live. You know, you might have people around you, might be family. They might be saying, oh, you know, you'll never get out of this situation. You'll never do this. And now you're like, well, I am, and I'll show you. But then there's a little part in your head that's saying, oh, I wish I'd gotten further. But don't worry, you're really, really well ahead. You're doing really well. So what I'm seeing here is just watch out for someone in your past, someone who you've moved on from, and I think you've really tried not to see them. You've tried to stay completely away from them. I think they might start to try to either pop into your life or pop into your head or come into your energy in some way. They might call you. They might pop up on your social media. So block this person if they're a bad influence, if you really don't want to go back into that old mindset. And even if you know that you won't go back into that old mindset, it's just seeing that person again is going to make you feel that old feeling of, oh, I'm back there again. There's a certain feeling you had when you're around these people in your past, and now you're fresher, you've moved on, but you don't want to feel those old feelings again. So make sure that you protect yourself from that. That's what I'm getting. Just watch out for that, because the man on this card's walking away. If you look at him, he's walking away. He's passionate. He's wearing red. He's going toward his passion. He's going toward his goal. But the water's flowing backwards. So something's drawing him back. So what I'm seeing is someone's going to draw you back in some way, whether that's intentionally or not. So watch out for that and protect yourself from that. That's what I'm seeing in that card. Okay, so the next card you have your past, the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, so back from where you were, back in this old life, there's someone who feels really lost. They're financially lost. I think you were back at that time, you had a lot of financial problems. And I think because you were stuck in an old life where you were going through all of that, you had people around you who were like that. And I'm not saying you're horrible and you've moved on and you're saying, oh, I'm better than you now. It's not like that. It's the attitude that was around at least one of these people, maybe more. And here's this person here. They're not destitute like these poor people on this card, but it's like they're not living in the way that they should. There's some habit, or there's something that they're going, or there's some mindset that they're in that's keeping them there. And I think when you're around them, I think you made some excuses for them, or you condone them, because you're around that, you know, all the time. It was influencing you, and you're making excuses for yourself as well. And now you've stopped making those excuses and you've moved forward. That's what I'm seeing. You did care about this person and you wanted them to be their best, but they wouldn't move on with you. You kind of said, right, I'm getting up, I'm going to change this. And I think they kind of said, well, you'll never do that, you'll never do this. And then you thought, well, if you're not going to come with me, I'm going anyway. It's you know, that's your decision, this is mine. That's what I'm seeing there. So yeah, you've moved on, and you know, there was no stability where you were. There was no stability, and that's what you want now. Because I'm just looking at this window in this card. It looks a little bit like a tree to me when I'm looking at this, and there's a little kind of arrow. It looks a bit like an anchor to me. So you couldn't grow when you were back in that place or in that space or wherever it was that you were, because there was no anchor, there was no stability there. You felt as if there's no place for stability here. This is bad, this feels wrong to me. I've got to move forward where I can find that for myself. And a tree can't grow where it can't put down roots. And that's how you felt at that time. You couldn't put the roots down. And now where you're going, you feel as if you can. So that's what I'm seeing. So you've moved on, you're looking forward, and I think they feel as if they're locked out from you now. They're locked out from where you are now. So that shows me that they might come and talk to you. They might literally come and talk to you, or you connect with you in some way. I was seeing that they might be around your energy in the Eight of Cups, and now I'm seeing that they might actually physically come and talk to you now. So again, watch out for that and protect yourself from that. I'm not saying never talk to anyone from your past. That's not what I'm saying. But I think this particular person wants to draw you back. So yeah, talk to them if you want to, but I think you know, you don't want to be drawn back. I keep on getting that, and I keep on trying to protect you from that. That's all. Okay, so the last card you have, your past, is the World. Okay, so this is a fantastic card to have, and this is showing you that you are doing the right thing to get away from that. You're heading in the right direction. This is the end of one phase and the start of another one. So you left that all behind, you started a new phase. It's very, very positive. So you're working on something. This is what I'm seeing. So you're going toward this goal, you're working on something, and you're kind of, it feels a little bit like you're halfway there. It's like you're halfway up the hill, and you're a little bit lost. You're kind of halfway there, and it feels like you're a little bit lost to me. It actually feels like you're a little bit stressed. It's like, I'm moving forward, and I want to get to the end, but now I'm kind of a little bit stressed. I'm a little bit stuck. And I think that's the reason why you need to really, really protect yourself from whoever's going to contact you from your past. Because if you're in that mode, if you're kind of doubting yourself and you're in the middle, you absolutely don't want anyone who's going to send you backwards again. You need to keep working forward. You need to keep going forward. You've got the World and you've got the Ace of Pentacles. So that shows me that you are absolutely on the right track and you need to keep going. It kind of feels to me like you've kind of let go of your past and you're on the road toward this goal, and you're kind of in the middle, and it feels like a little bit of it feels like you're in a kind of a tunnel and you can't see the end. You can't see where you're getting to now. You're in the middle and it's kind of too far away. So you can't see this really good, I'm sorry about that horn, I don't know what that is. So you can't see, you know, the fantastic goal that's at the end that you're going to achieve. But it's also too narrow, this little kind of tunnel that you're in, to be able to move back and go backwards again. So you're kind of stuck in the middle and you're like, oh, I don't know, I'm having all these doubts. But this is showing you that this tunnel that's really narrow now is going to widen up for you. Because have a look at this card. There's this laurel wreath on this card, and it's big and it's wide. It's so big that this whole woman can fit inside it, and there's space around her as well, and she's floating around free. So that's what you're going to be when you get to the tunnel. It's going to open up for you, and you're going to be able to get to this goal, just as long as you don't let the past drag you back. That's a big thing I'm getting that I have to keep on reminding you. The other thing I'm seeing here is there's some information that's going to come to you. And I think what's going to happen is I'm actually hearing a voice. It's like, I'm not hearing a voice, but I'm seeing that this is going to come into you in the form of words. So I think someone might it might be that someone talks to you, they give you some information, and that's going to be like, oh, okay, that really changes my point of view now. I can see how to get to the end. I can see the end of the tunnel. I can see the road ahead of me, because you've got this Ace of Pentacles with this beautiful golden path, and it's going to open up that path for you. So I think this is also a reminder to you to keep your ears opened, keep your mind opened to open up to hear these words that are going to come in for you. I'm actually seeing someone talking, or words, or you're going to hear something, and it's going to be, oh, wow, that gives me all the information I need to kind of keep going to the end. So absolutely keep your ears open. And also, I think if you let this person communicate with you from your past, it's going to set you back emotionally. You're going to be feeling, oh no, I'm back there again. And it opens up all the feelings. And I remember when they said this and that. And you start going down that path. And if you go down that path, your mind and your heart and everything's going to be filled with all that rubbish. And you do not need to be filled up with anything. You need to keep everything open so that you can let these words come in, because it's going to open up your world. That's what I'm seeing there. So I hope that makes sense to you. I hope that makes some kind of sense to you. Okay, so the first card you have your presence, the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, fantastic. So again, the world, the Ace of Pentacles, it's all going to open up. These words are coming in. Again, I'm seeing information. And it's going to change everything for you. Really, really amazing. And it's going to make you feel different again, because I think you've come so far from what you came from. You felt a certain way then, you feel a certain way now, better than you were, but you're still having all these doubts. And I think when this information comes in, it's going to heighten the way you feel again. So you're going to feel all different again. It's like, you know, when it's summertime and you have this amazing feeling, and it's in the holidays, and you know you don't have to work, and it's sunny, and you wake up and you feel so different. It's just, everything looks different, everything feels different. That's kind of how it's going to feel to you when everything starts to widen up for you. Yeah, and like, I'm just seeing this, there was this goal that you've written down, and I think there's something else as well, another goal that you had, and it's from way back, maybe even years before this other goal. So there's an old goal, and I think you started on this years ago and you had to abandon this. And to you, I think it's linked to this new goal. But I just want to tell you that it's not linked to the new goal. For you, I think maybe this is why you're having all these doubts, because I think what happened is you had this old thing, you started this thing, you're on track, and then it was like, oh, I have to abandon this, I can't do this. And to you, I think it feels like failure, because I'm getting this really horrible feeling of failure. So it might be like, oh, I failed this last time, and now I might fail this again. So I think that might be what the worry is. And what I'm seeing here is you didn't fail. You didn't fail last time, because what you did last time was all happening for you to be able to do this. So you have to learn from what happened, from that perceived failure, from what happened last time, to give you this knowledge to achieve what you're doing this time. I hope that makes sense. So they are linked in a way, but not in the way that you think. You might be thinking, if this resonates, you might be thinking, oh, well, I failed last time and I'm going to fail this time. But to me, they're linked because you're learning from the old mistakes, you're learning from last time, and you're going to do all of that and change all of that. Plus you've got all the new things. You're not going to repeat the same mistakes again. You've learned from that, and that's how you're going to achieve this. So that's what I'm seeing. Because sometimes the World card, back to that again, It can be about coming full circle, and that's when it's going to feel like when you see the results of this coming in. It's like, oh, okay, I'm kind of achieving these two things here in one. That's what I'm getting there. So again, I have to tell you this again. I know I'm repeating myself. Listen out for words. They're going to open up your world. I was seeing a person coming to talk to you, but it might not be a person. It might be in the form of, it might be a face-to-face conversation, or it might be a podcast. It's verbal, it's words. So keep your ears opened. It could be anything, but it's someone talking to you, or it's you hearing something. And it's going to come in quickly. It's going to come in really quickly. So you're suddenly going to hear this amazing revelation. That's what I'm seeing. And it's going to open everything up for you. Now I know exactly what to do. That's kind of what I'm getting. I know it sounds crazy, and I probably sound crazy, but I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. Okay, so the next card you have for your presence, the Two of Swords. Okay, I hope this is going to make sense. So the first thing is, again, I'm seeing these doubts, two swords here. So you've got the one thing where you're doubting, you're seeing the old thing, the old goal, and you're kind of connecting it to the new one again. So I'm seeing that again here. I've already explained that to you, so I'm not going to say that again, but it's again here. The other thing I'm seeing here is, okay, just watch out for someone asking you lots of questions. Now, I don't think that they're doing this to hurt you directly, but I think someone's going to come in, they're going to ask you lots and lots of questions. I'm seeing the same question over and over and over again. It's like, oh, what do you think of this? Do you think we should do this? Do you think you should do this? Do you think this is a good idea? All of that kind of thing. And you're going to be a bit puzzled by this. It's going to be like, well, why are you asking me that over and over again? And it's not going to feel good to you. It's going to give you this kind of not so good feeling. And that's because this is quite a manipulative person. I think they might be, I don't think they're a relative. I think they might be a relative, but by marriage. It might be a step parent or a stepdaughter. It's some kind of step there. So it's a relative, but they're not a blood relative, if that makes sense. That's what I'm seeing. I know that's quite specific. And they're trying to ask you this question so that, because what I'm seeing is, I don't know if this is going to make any sense at all. This is someone who's trying to manipulate someone else into doing what they want. So instead of saying to this other person, this is what I want, which is what they should do, they're trying to say to them, oh, this is what you want. This is what this other person wants, which is you. This is what Aquarius wants. You know, I've asked this Aquarius person and they've said you should do this. And I think they think that you have more influence over this person they're trying to manipulate than they do. I don't know whether you're the daughter of this person or a son of this person, and this is a step parent. It might be that. That's what I'm seeing. I know that's very specific. If you know who this is, if this resonates with you, firstly, you don't have to answer them at all. If you don't want to, you can just say, well, I don't know, or something. And the other thing is, this is going to make you feel a certain way if this resonates. So you don't want that as well, infiltrating your feelings and being on your mind and kind of going through your mind, and you think, why are they asking that? There's something not good about this, but I don't know what it is. You don't want to have your mind filled with that kind of rubbish. So totally get this out of your mind, get this person out of your head. Don't answer them. If they come back with the same question again and again, just say to them, look, I don't know. I've already answered that. I don't know. You know, so please don't keep asking me that question, because you need to keep your mind open. You need to keep your ears opened. All of these little things are tests. Put them out of your mind and keep your ears opened for this revelation that's going to help you with this goal. And it's going to help you to accelerate this goal very, very quickly. So you've got to watch out for this, and you've got to keep your mind open. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing with that. So just watch out for that. I don't know if that's going to make any sense at all, but that's what I'm seeing there. Okay, so the last card you have in your presence, the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, look at this man. He's got his back to everything. So you've got to have your back to this person. You've got to have your back to any of these things that are going to get into your head, make your head turn around and around and think, what's that about? What's this about? Get all of that out of your head so that you can keep your mind open and your ears open for this information to come in. I'm not saying turn your back to everyone. I'm not saying don't talk to anyone. But just minimize as many distractions as you possibly can at this time, because this is when you're going to open up for this information to come in. It's kind of going to be like a download that's kind of downloading into your mind and into your heart, and it's going to download your whole body so that it's like, oh, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. I understand this now. That's what I'm getting. I understand everything now. I can go forward now. The other thing is, I don't mean to make this into a money reading or a career reading, but it's turning into that, I know. But there's also some money I'm seeing here that you might be waiting for. It's something's on hold. So if you're waiting for money that's supposed to be coming in for you, if you're expecting money to come in, I think it's probably going to stay on hold for a while. It feels as if there's money there and it's tied up in some way, and maybe there's another person involved in this as well. They might be holding something up. They might be disputing something that's kind of making this kind of hold for you. So I think if this resonates with you, you are going to get this. It's going to be eventual. It's absolutely going to come into you, or for you, I should say. But it might not be the whole amount, or it might be a different amount, or it might be a variation on what you originally wanted. It is going to come in. You are going to get a result. So don't lose hope. But also, there's a delay here. So don't put your life on hold. Don't sit there waiting. Do everything else you have to do. And also, don't set your mind on this either, because again, I know I keep repeating myself, but you've got to keep your mind open for this kind of verbal download that's coming to you. I know it sounds crazy, but just please just keep your ears open and your mind open for that, and don't wait for this, but it is going to come in. That's what I'm seeing. Okay, the first card you have for your future is the Ten of Swords. Okay, so I think this is a warning. I don't think it's anything terrible. No one's going to fight you. No one's going to stab you. You're going to be alive. You're going to survive. But I think this might be about this person in the Four of Pentacles, because I think there's, with this money that you're waiting, there's some kind of dispute about this. And I think there's someone on the other side of this, and they're holding this up. They're not happy with this. And they're trying to kind of create problems. They're trying to kind of create delays in this money that's coming in. They can't do this. You know, they can hold it up, but they're not going to be able to stop it coming in for you. It is going to come in for you. Now, just watch out, because they might start to do things like, because they're not happy. They feel that, what I'm getting is, whoever this is, they feel that you've won and they've lost, because you've got the result and they didn't want you to get this result. So they might start to talk about you on social media. They might start to talk to people about you and say, oh, you're terrible and this and that, and it's not fair. Try to ignore this. Block them. Do whatever you can. Don't listen to this. Keep silent. Keep silent, because I think your silence is going to speak volumes. I think when they hear all this information from this person and they see that you're not saying anything, it's going to be like, well, this person's quiet. They're not causing problems. They're not problematic. So I actually think the person who's making the most noise might be the most problematic. So I think that's going to happen anyway. But I think you're good at doing that. I think you're quiet. You're kind of a calm person anyway. But this is going to test you. This is going to test your patience. So make sure you're blocking. You don't listen. You don't talk. You don't say anything to them. Again, this is another little test that's coming to you, I think, to kind of take your attention away from keeping your mind open, your ears open. So again, don't listen to this. Just put it aside. The result's coming in anyway.